But let's go ahead and take another look here. The siding of this next door home was pretty much destroyed and melted, but the fire did not get inside. Hi y'all, it's Sarah, and it's time to dust off y'all's boots and hitch a ride to the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, where you can enjoy livestock and fun shows. For more information, head over to ksat.com/rodeo. That's the rodeo, San Antonio. Traffic is flowing smoothly. If you look at I-10 at Culebra, again, just a couple of cars on the road. It's pretty quiet because it's spring break here in San Antonio. So let's take a wide look at the map. The majority is green. Green is great. It means that all of you travelers here coming into San Antonio and out of San Antonio are going to expect smooth sailing in our city. Los oficiales nos dicen que los tres sospechosos están enfrentando cargos del Estado. For over 100 years, Paris Hatters has roped in some famous customers like legendary country music singer Johnny Cash and El Rey of Mariachi himself, Vicente Fernandez, with his moño as proof. The vast majority of students, including a high schooler at Legacy who found a vape in a trash can like this one, didn't face charges. New this morning, two people fighting in the middle of a street ended up being hit by a car on San Antonio's west side overnight. All patients have to do is get on the phone and call Be Well Texas, and the employees will get on the Lyft app and book the appointment for them. Within minutes, patients can expect for the ride to show up, and all they got to do is hop in and head to their appointment. Let's go ahead and take a look. This fire was so intense that firefighters had to rip off the front gate just so that they could make it inside the home. So let's go ahead and look at some of the construction projects that we have here in the city. So today, starting at 9 a.m. and ending around 3 p.m., we're going to have a closure of the westbound lanes at Bulverde Road. So when you start approaching those construction areas, make sure you slow down and proceed with caution. We are currently at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo's newest educational center, where children can learn about agriculture and meet the newest San Antonio residents, Alamo and Buck. After the illegal street takeovers in both Austin and here in the Alamo City, several arrests were made. The Virginia school that was the scene of a shooting a couple weeks ago is stepping up its safety protocols. A 6-year-old brought a gun to school and ended up shooting his teacher in the chest. From THC vapes to marijuana gummies, close to 400 NEISD police reports filed last year revealed officers were confiscating drug paraphernalia from students and afterwards throwing them away in trash cans and dumpsters around campus.
It shouldn't have happened.
NEISD spokeswoman Aubrey Chancellor says it was all a mistake and the district should have known better.
The officers are all fully aware of how the discarding of the products is supposed to work, and the only thing that they're permitted to discard is vape and vape oils.
But the report paints a different picture. When KSAT asked Chancellor why officers were getting instructions ranging from school administrators, police department directives, and even faculty members, this was the response.
I'm not sure where that confusion came from. To me, it sounds like they're saying the same thing, an administrator, a directive.
The vast majority of students, including a high schooler at Legacy who found a vape in a trash can like this one, didn't face charges, unless
it doesn't amount to a certain level, and I believe that level is maybe 5 oil cartridges.
But in September, when a student at Reagan High School was found with 14 THC vape pens and 2 cigars, they were not criminally charged. The case was instead handled as a discipline issue only. Parents are voicing their concerns.
I think they have a general negligence problem.
Destiny's daughter attends MacArthur High School, and twice within the last 2 months, her daughter was hospitalized for being under the influence of drugs and alcohol after ingesting the items during school hours, including once while on campus.
And I've put that work and that effort in to keep her safe and away from these types of situations, and I feel like MacArthur came and they pulled the rug out from me.
Destiny's daughter has admitted to smoking vapes, and in one instance, while at MacArthur's campus, the teen began foaming at the mouth and couldn't walk. An ER drug test showed she was intoxicated, and
she did have a small amount, I think it was of 0.05% marijuana in her system.
All Destiny wants is answers, but she says she still hasn't gotten the full story from school officials.
They're keeping a lot of information from me as a parent.
NEISD also left out information in over 20 of its reports, failing to say how confiscated drugs were dealt with or if they were even disposed of.
The report should be a little more specific, and they should be clear about exactly what was done with all of that. all of that evidence. So moving forward, we're going to have spot checks, and the supervisors are going to be pulling reports and really making sure that they're detailed and appropriate.
NEISD officials say they hope to improve communication between schools and parents to identify and correct any future problems. Reporting, Sarah Cervera, KSAT 12 News. This was the scene at Joe Pool Lake when firefighters found the dead body of a 41-year-old Hispanic male. Bystanders at the lake called for help yesterday afternoon at around 4 p.m. when they saw a man struggling to stay afloat. When firefighters arrived at the scene, the swimmer had already disappeared under the water.
He was just swimming off the end of the dock and he did not resurface.
Nightfall made it hard for first responders to find the body, and Battalion Chief Wendell Grider said they had to stop and wait until the morning.
We responded and we conducted search operations until dark last night, and the search was called off.
After 19 hours, first responders found the body of the man a little after 11 a.m. this morning. Officials said drownings like these are not uncommon because many people don't take safety precautions. And the battalion chief says,
if you do decide to swim, make sure that you swim in a group, wear a life jacket, and always stay alert. If you do see someone drowning, do not try to jump in because you'll put your own life at risk. Instead, make sure that you are going to call 911 and use an extended object such as a stick if they're responsive so they can hold on to the other end and you can reel them in.
According to the Red Cross's website, you should always swim without distractions, swim sober, and wear a life jacket. At this time, we don't know if the victim was drunk or under the influence of drugs, but we do know
Swimmer was not wearing a life jacket when we recovered his body this morning.
First responders are trying to identify the man and break the news of his death to any family or friends. Reporting, contestant number 298. Time check, it is 10:09 a.m. and the majority of the roads here in the Alamo City are looking great. Traffic is flowing smoothly. If you look at I-10 at Culebra, again, just a couple of cars on the road. It's pretty quiet because it's spring break here in San Antonio. So let's take a wide look at the map. The majority is green. Green is great. It means that all of you travelers here coming into San Antonio and out of San Antonio are going to expect smooth sailing in our city. But just because that we're on a break doesn't mean that TxDOT is. So let's go ahead and look at some of the construction projects that we have here in the city. So today, starting at 9 a.m. and ending around 3 p.m., we're going to have a closure of the westbound lanes at Bulverde Road. So when you start approaching those construction areas, make sure you slow down and proceed with caution. But let's take a look again at TransGuide. Everything is looking great.